This is the Mental Mettle Podcast, where we explore how to forge mental toughness and resilience in every aspect of life. Welcome, I'm your host, Coach Matt Thomann. I'm an ICF certified professional coach with a background as a teacher, basketball coach, and athletic director. But my journey took a dramatic turn in 2020 when I survived both cancer and a stroke. Those experiences shaped my mission to help others grow stronger in every facet of life. Today, I work with athletes, coaches, educators, and anyone who believes that positive mental health is both achievable and a personal responsibility. This podcast is dedicated to helping listeners develop a positive version of toughness, one rooted in resilience, focus, and growth. Whether you're looking to excel on the field, in the classroom, or in life, this is your space to learn, grow, and take action. Join me on this journey, and together, let's forge your mettle. Welcome to Mental Mettle Coaching, where our mission is to help you learn to thrive in the face of adversity, not just survive it. We are passionate about empowering you to live, play, and work with a resilient and spirited mindset. Hi, I'm Matt Thomann. I'm an ICF professional coach and keynote speaker. My background as an athlete, basketball coach, teacher, and school administrator has equipped me with the insights that resonate deeply with the schools, teams, athletes, and coaches I work with. However, it's my personal journey through anxiety, cancer, and an ischemic stroke in 2020 that truly brings authenticity to my presentations. While learning to speak and write again, I also pursued and earned my ICF coaching certification. Now the practices I embrace are more than theoretical concepts. They're a way of life. Developing a positive mindset is within reach for all, but it requires self-awareness and the repetition of intentional activities. At Mental Mettle Coaching, we'll guide you, your staff, and your students on this transformative journey. Together, let's forge your mettle. Welcome back, Metalheads. It is Thanksgiving, and it's my favorite holiday. A little shorter episode today, but some stuff that I really want to put out there on Thanksgiving. First of all, Thanksgiving, my favorite holiday. Just November's my favorite month. I get to be outside a lot. Basketball starting. It's my birthday. It's Thanksgiving, which is my favorite holiday. Just awesome. And I love it. I think what I love about Thanksgiving is, one, if you've heard me talk about gratitude, you know it's a big deal for me on this podcast. It was one of the first things I did for my monthly Mettle Challenge, and just the importance of gratitude. And I want to say that prefacing this episode because you'll saw in the title, I said, I want you to practice thanks taking. And that might seem very selfish, but bear with me. It's not at all. Okay, that's not true. It's a little selfish, but for the right reasons, and I'll explain that. I just think that we can, if we lean into gratitude and do it right, we get benefits for both the others around us and ourselves. And I think that we need to see it that way for a couple reasons. So it is a little bit of a different take on it, but I want us to talk about gratitude from a different angle. And there's three areas I want to talk about. Number one is probably the hardest of the three, and I want to say it first just in case you run out of time. I want you to really think about this. When I say thanks taking, it is imperative that you learn how to take thanks and sincerely accept compliments and do not dismiss them. Think about it. Think about how often we do this thing. When people come up with us some genuine thanks or some genuine compliments for a variety of reasons, we dismiss it. We don't necessarily look at them in the eye. We deflect, pass it on to someone else, and don't accept the thanks. Now, I think that there's a few reasons. One, it triggers our insecurity. It conflicts with our self-image that we don't have, that negative self-image that we honestly need to work on. We also kind of refuse it a little bit because we don't necessarily want to live up to that thanks. There's a little bit in our head that does that, and we maybe don't want to live up to what people are saying. But when we do this, it does a couple of things and why we need to get away from it. And number one, if I ask people, and I do this all the time, I'm like, would you rather give compliments or receive them? And most people, and with thanks and giving gratitude or accepting gratitude, almost everybody says, well, I'd much rather give it. I like giving compliments. I like giving gratitude. And we're going to talk about that later. And the reasons is they start to understand that makes me feel good. I like doing it. I like helping others. There's a lot of that out there. You have to think about what it gives you to give those compliments and give that gratitude, because it's a really good feeling we get for giving that. It's a gift that we give to somebody else. Think of it like a gift. If we give someone a gift and they immediately return it, or they don't even accept it, it's taking away the benefit of us giving that gift, because we get a hit from it. We get dopamine. We get all this stuff. And when you don't accept that thanks or that gift, it takes it away. Doesn't give that person what they're seeking and what maybe they're needing. So you really need to work on this. And I just know so many coaches that I work with are really good at dismissing it, and they want to give others the credit, and that's fine. I think that we need to do that in addition to accepting it for ourselves. So the test there that I want you to do is start thinking about what happens when people come and give you some praise or some thanks, and how do you respond? And I would urge you to just do this. Two things. One, actually reflect on what they're saying. Think about it. Think about where they're coming from, and recognize that they're seeing something good in you, and allow yourself to accept that. All right. Seeing the perspective of somebody else is really, really beneficial, and it helps us with our own confidence, our own demeanor, our own emotional well-being to accept that. That's one. So actually think about what they're saying and don't dismiss it. As for your response, I found the best thing is to just actually look at them in the eye and say thank you and mean it. Okay? You don't have to do more. Resist the urge to downplay it and to play it off. Give them the satisfaction of saying thank you. Okay? It will really help. Part of the reasons we want people to see gratitude in others and gratitude in our organizations and our relationships is because we know when we practice gratitude, it builds positivity in an organization, a relationship. When you don't accept the gratitude, you are kind of stopping that positivity. All right? You have to take the opportunity, get over the awkwardness, get over the thinking you're being arrogant, and just say thank you, and allow yourself to gain that gift and allow them to feel good for giving that gift. And you help build that positivity just by saying thank you and not downplaying. Okay? It's a great, great change that you can make. And I do this in some of my group coaching, and it is harder than you think. It's a really awkwardness, and people have been doing it for years where they defer it. And then also it gets emotional, because then they actually start to think about the thing this person is saying to them and that they mean it, and it becomes emotional. And those are good things, right? I think we want that sort of positivity and that growth in people. And so that's my number one thing for what I'm calling thanks taking, and that is actually take the thanks and actually accept it and use it. The second one is kind of a similar idea in that we need to give and accept thanks that is directed towards ourselves. So you have to learn how to recognize and appreciate your own efforts and your own wins. There's a lot of psychology behind this, but I would break it down to really simple. I love to say that confidence is evidence-based, and confidence, I go all day long about, but you already know about the benefit of confidence and how it helps us do everything better. But confidence is fleeting sometimes and is difficult at times, but a lot of that is because we're focusing on the wrong evidence. We think about the things we're not doing well, so we don't have confidence. And that's a real no-brainer. If we start to learn how to focus on the things that we're doing well, we start to gain our confidence. All right, so in order to do that, you actually have to give yourself some gratitude and recognition on the things you're doing well, and then accept it. All right, so this self-acceptance is so foundational to mental health. Now, I know that a lot of people say, well, if I have to recognize when I'm doing wrong or I don't get better. And I agree with that, but we go way over the top when it goes to negativity. All right, so we take what we think is the truth, and then we embellish it, exaggerate it, and we use our negative voice that's in a really bad way. And I contend that that is not helpful, and that is not the truth. So the truth is fantastic. I love understanding where we are, what we struggle with, what we need to get better at, but then we need to move forward with positivity. Be like, okay, here's what I work at, but here's how I can get better. And then once you get better, actually give some gratitude and like, hey, this is something I'm working on and getting better. It's as far as recognition goes and giving yourself recognition, it's one of those things that if we look at it from another perspective, imagine you had an elderly neighbor and you just started mowing his lawn every week. He didn't ask, you didn't mention, you just started doing it. And you see this guy every day at the mailbox. And after a month, so 4 different times of you mowing his yard, he has not recognized it once. He sees you out there. He knows you're doing it, but he hasn't said a thing. You can't even tell if he notices. I contend that after a while, you'll stop doing it because there's no recognition. And you're like, I don't even think he cares, right? It's the same thing about us doing things well. All right. So when we do things well, we need to recognize what we're doing well because it builds our confidence and it builds our mental health. If you don't recognize the things you're doing well, you'll eventually stop doing them. All right. It's no different. It applies to ourselves and our internal thoughts. So the second one there is you have to learn how to give yourself thanks and accept thanks from yourself. It's huge on building your confidence and growing. And I think there's a couple different ways. Affirmations and voice are really good. Self-gratitude, journaling. I love to say what I call bookend your day. So you might start with something you want to work on. Here's a controllable I want to focus on today. And at the end of the day, journal a little bit about how you did and recognize how well you did. And be like, hey, I did this well. Now you can bring in there, hey, this is a spot I could do better. All right, but then that's your goal tomorrow. And then you just acknowledge the things you're doing well and take that thanks from yourself, and you'll see some growth in your confidence. The third one is just good old-fashioned gratitude and giving gratitude to others, but I want you to recognize how much it helps us. And I don't want you to start thinking about gratitude as a selfish thing, but quite honestly it is. I contend that gratitude to others is one of the most selfish things you can do for yourself. And I know that seems like maybe we shouldn't see it that way because we should be doing gratitude for others and recognizing things in others. And I agree with that 100%. You'll hear me talk about that all day. But I think it's helpful for you to understand that it's also helpful for us. Okay? Giving gratitude to others, it really cultivates this positive mindset because you are actively looking for and expressing positives. I talk about all the time about the human condition, and humans are so geared for negativity. It's what helps us survive. We got to look for negative things in order to kind of survive because we got to notice if things are going bad that are going to kill us, right? And we're kind of wired that way. And that helps us survive, but it doesn't help us thrive. We need things like positivity and gratitude to help to thrive. Gratitude is noticing the positive. So it's if you start to practice gratitude toward others, you recognize that there are a lot of people in your life that are helping you out, and there's a lot of situations that are good for you, and there's a lot of things that are going your way. And if you continue to do that, you recognize these positives, and you start to look for positives. It's that red car theory, right? So, I could ask you right now how many red cars you've seen today, and you probably don't know because you haven't thought about it, but now you'll think about it. If you start to practice gratitude, you're going to look for positives, and you're going to find positives, and that really boosts all sorts of mental health things. It boosts our neurotransmitters. We get dopamine, serotonin. All of these things is really helpful, right? All from you learning how to practice gratitude. And again, it's all those other things. If others accept it, then you're starting to build a culture and a community of gratitude and positivity. And it's just so useful. It's a really helpful thing, gratitude. So that's the three things there. And let's not forget on giving gratitude, and it's that we create that ripple effect. This is really important. Your gratitude and positivity gets spread to somebody else, and throughout your organizations and your family and your relationships. It's so useful. Okay, so that's the three things. Remember how to take thanks and accept it. Give and accept thanks to yourself, and understand that practicing gratitude is a really helpful thing for yourself. Right? So learn how to practice a little bit of thanks taking. And I just think it's such a useful tool, gratitude, and we just don't notice, we don't use it as much as we should. And I think that looking at it in this way can really help. It's really should be an important part of your day, finding ways to use gratitude with yourself, with others, and accepting gratitude. It is such a useful tool for building that positivity. Have a great Thanksgiving. Love you all. Thank you so much for sharing, liking, commenting, everything you do for the Mental Mettle Podcast and Mental Mettle Coaching. That's my gratitude. I know you guys hear me talk about it all the time, but just thank you so much for being part of Mental Mettle Coaching and everything you guys do. I couldn't do my business without clients and without listeners and all those things. So thank you so much. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, and we will get into some good guests coming up next week, and I'm really excited about some of the people I got coming on. So go out, have some turkey, have some Thanksgiving or some pumpkin pie, watch some football, and take a nap. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to the Mental Mettle Podcast. Don't forget to tune in every week for more insights and strategies to help you forge mental toughness and resilience. This podcast is brought to you by Mental Mettle Coaching, where we are driven by a passion for sharing knowledge and experience that empowers others to play, live, and grow with confidence. Our mission is to instill a resilient and spirited mindset in our clients, enabling them to confidently face adversity and actively seek new challenges for personal growth. At Mental Mettle Coaching, we offer individual coaching, group coaching, and professional development for schools and businesses. Whether you're an athlete, educator, or professional, we're here to help you unlock your potential and thrive in every area of life. Until next time, keep growing, stay resilient, and always remember to forge your mettle.